Elite Series 67, Rey Mysterio, straight out of WCW Halloween Havok 1997. Gonna open this up, add it to my collection, talk about the attire, compare it to some other figures with the height, see if it's fitting for Rey Mysterio's size, talk about what he comes with here in the package. Definitely going to be talking about this attire as well. Straight out of WCW Revenge on Nintendo 64. Which is exactly what my collection goes by. Had this for a while. So right off the bat, coming with a WWE Cruiserweight title, not a WCW Cruiserweight title. Really cheaped out with this, giving it the WWE's version, which looks completely different. So not fitting for this figure at all. But they will finally be making a WCW Cruiserweight title. Of course, it'll come with a Rey Mysterio figure, so I'm going to have to get another Rey Mysterio. What the? You'll have to give this to some other figure because it doesn't fit this Rey. So about this attire here, once we get the look at the figure with a lot of extra details on the back as well. We got the skull because this attire is inspired by the Phantom movie that came out in 1996 before the pay-per-view here. Rey Mysterio known for doing a lot of comic book and characters with his attires and things. So that was a big movie at the time just for adapting a comic book. Sometimes that gets forgotten in time because that movie wasn't a huge hit. Maybe just at the time, but not something long-lasting that people still talk about. The Phantom movie. I remember a lot of marketing behind that one. Now the mask is not exactly 100% accurate with the nose hole. Here it doesn't really have a nose hole like it's showing even on the packaging. He's got all his question marks and stuff all over for the Mysterio. Really nice molded birds here on his wrist. He always had these on his mask, this design here we got on the arms, so that's uniquely good for Rey Mysterio's costume here. So this attire was famously in the Nintendo 64 wrestling game, WCW NWO Revenge. Probably one I usually avoided because it was very strange compared to his other attires. Definitely just like the Spider-Man based one the most. So I'd love to get a figure of that one eventually. But since this attire is from that game, this fits in my collection great because that's kind of the time period I like to collect. He is awesome, definitely smaller, fitting for Rey. I hear from the big Rey Mysterio kind of career pack, a WCW Rey Mysterio. I kind of bought the pack just for a WCW Rey back in the day. Here we can see the head a little bit bigger for the Elite version here. Also the hands even. They've just given him big hands instead of these smaller ones. So a little strange here, but with the more posable, going to go a long way with a Rey Mysterio figure. A little bit bigger head for sure. But this one, I would assume since this is his kind of WCW debut attire, it's probably an attire he had in ECW at some point. Maybe this Rey can just kind of fit in on that side of things for my collection. Or he might even be able to swap these hands so he kind of has the smaller hands. Comes with these accessory holding hands and fists for the Elite version. So he is still smaller compared to like figures like the Dean Malenko with the height, and the head size is probably a little more fitting compared to this very tiny one that came in the big package. Also like to get an Eddy Guerrero in the attire from that match. Best I could do is get this kind of WWF Latino Heat one that still had this kind of classic design he always wore in WCW as well. But this one's just black and gold, no red mixed in. But for the size, this Eddie's going to look really good with this Rey. Still got a smaller Rey Mysterio with this as well. Not exact for that specific match, but good just for my WCW collection here. Okay, so he comes with a flight stand, but there's not like a base, unless I'm missing a part. One end's a peg, so I assume that's going to have to go in a foot. The other end's just an open thing here, but I would have thought that's what clipped on the side, but where are you supposed to put this? It can't go on the ground because it's got that peg. Yeah, this clips on the body really nice, but there's no base. Was it supposed to come with a base? Did I lose the base? Did somebody take my base? Guess if I turn this, then that's the base instead of grabbing the figure. Again, all we have is the foot peg. It doesn't balance so well. I think this stand might just be useless. I'm not getting it here. Great idea for a Rey Mysterio figure, jumping through the air, kind of his thing. Probably just get a hold of a classic one from Japan or something like that. High flying poses. We got a stand here at the bottom that's going to support the pose a lot better. So I appreciate the idea back then, but I think we've evolved since then. Probably had better stands coming with some figures. Nice try, Mattel. So all his accessories suck because it's the wrong Cruiserweight Championship. The stand is not particularly handy to use, but the main joy here is going to be the attire, the Phantom look from that exact pay-per-view. A very specific attire, but links him strongly to WCW time period, which is what I like to collect from the Monday Night Wars there, WWF and WCW, from the later 90s there. So still a good size and good look for a WCW Rey Mysterio. So I open all those figures here that I get from that time period as they come out, and even going back and getting kind of older ones like this to fill out my collection. You can check out more WCW figures here. Maybe get subscribed so I can see you in the next video. Rick and run it!